Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. We're here on the Alps Panorama at the Northern Sea map, and we're playing with seasons. We've just had a rather wonderful short break. We've done a little bit of surfing, a little bit of swimming. We even built a sandcastle, but now we need to head back and get on with our work. It's probably not going to have the hired help do very much in here because of the fact that half the field is already cultivated. So even if I just sort of get the outside edge done, then we'll leave it and we'll worry about it another time. And we've got the cultivator over here that's ready to follow on behind the plough for doing some of the other fields that we're going to do. And we can also get a planter and bring that one over, because that's another thing that we're going to need to get going, is the planting. These fields over here with the grass, we can start planting those immediately. The other ones, they shouldn't get any frost damage. I mean, we're 3 degrees at the moment, and the soil temperature is saying 4 degrees by the look of it. If you look there on the overlay, it's got 3 and 4. I think the bottom one is the soil temperature, and the top one is the air temperature, I think. Not 100% sure of that. But Sour Skittles is doing a wonderful job hauling up through this field. This is quite the beast. This really is. At 1300 horsepower, I should hope it was quite the beast. This is the single most powerful tractor that we've got. And it works beautifully. I love this tractor. I really do. This is very, very cool. Swinging on round here. It's going to be an interesting bit, is swinging up beside these fences. I'm really hoping that they've all got proper collision on them. That'll be something that we find out in a bit. See what they're like with their collision. One thing I'm wondering about this map, because obviously at the moment it looks a bit lifeless and dead, doesn't it? I mean, we know that we don't have the traffic on. That's fine. We can sort of we can work around that bit. But the rest of the map generally just looks lifeless and dead. Partly that is the seasons with no leaves on any of the trees. Right, that makes them look lifeless and dead. We'd expect that. But I mean, in general, everything looks a bit lifeless and dead. And that's obviously because of the fact that we don't have any of the fields all ploughed up and growing. So what is it going to look like when we have gone through here and we've ploughed up huge chunks of the land and we've got loads of fields all sort of ready to go and stuff like that? How is that going to affect the appearance of the map overall? I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing what sort of difference it makes to the feel of this map in general. Right, I need to go a little bit slower with Skittles. We've got to remember that this is an excessively overpowered tractor, which is why I'm not going to be using it too much, because it is a little bit of breaking realism, but I want to use it a bit. I do want to use it for some, but not all of the stuff. So I'm just going to press H on there. I'm going to let the hired help carry on. And now the big question is, it's already counting it as cultivated. So is it going to cultivate any, like, is it going to go through the cultivator and cultivate properly? Or is it just going to give up and stop completely? I don't know if Seasons demands that you cultivate your ploughed land. I know there was a I seen somewhere a rumor about whether that was going to be happening or not, but I don't know if there was actually any fact in that or nothing at all. It's backing up a long way. Why are you backing up? You're backing up ready to turn. No. It's reversing all the way across the field. Right, it's going to reverse all the way across the field and then it's going to turn round. And then, I don't know what it's going to do. Oh, it might be because of the tree and also because of the road. So maybe it doesn't turn out onto the road. The turning circle on it is quite wide anyway. And we know the turning circle is wide. Is it trying to turn too sharp on that? I'm also wondering is if it's turning over here and it's just going to do this one little line, or is it going to reverse all the way back up across the map? Across the field. It came all the way down in order to be able to do the turn. How far back are you going? Oh, it's only going to there. Seems a bit odd. And then it's going to stop. And now what's it going to do? Right. That one doesn't work too well. I'm going to leave that one for a minute. So Alt S to look at seasons, and I want to go here. So if we scroll down, medium frost resistance on seed, high frost resistance on the young grass. It's just low medium. It doesn't have a red marker on any of it for the grass. Now, average temperature 2, 6, 7, 5. This is today. Minimum temperature 0. And then 0 degrees -1 tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. So if we plant the seed now, we may end up getting a bit of frost damage. Because that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday is definitely improved quite a bit on Wednesday. If we wait until Tuesday morning before we start doing our planting, we're not going to risk any of that. So that's the weather forecast. And we look back here. I mean, medium frost resistance. That's pretty good. So you'd kind of hope that it would actually germinate. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want this one over here. So the grass planting says that we can do grass planting so long as it's above 3 degrees. And it is above 3 degrees. It's 4 degrees at the moment. So do we put the planter on the IMT? Not the class one. No, we're not going to do that. We've got the planting to go on there. We've got the Case Quad Track over here. We've got the Challenger, which is looking gorgeous. And then we've got my personal favourite out of all of the articulated tractors, which is the New Holland T9. Despite it being my favourite, I am thinking we'll use the IMT to start with, purely because I've never used this one before. I know I haven't actually used the Challenger either, but this is a new one. This one here, not very many people will have used. Well, actually, I suppose quite a lot of you will have used it by this point. Let's go and have a look. So we've got the Stara right there. That is a 14-metre cedar. We've got the Lemkin right there, which is 12. I've got this one here, which is also a direct drill, the Condor. Beautiful one that is. Absolutely wonderful. And the Horsch 9-metre. Now, the Horsch 9-metre is a wonderful all-round... it's a beautiful thing. So is this one, actually. This one and the Horsch are probably two of the best ones. And then we've got the really wide ones over here. 18 metres, 25 metres. Like, they get obscenely big over here. And we want both. We want to be able to do obscenely big, but we also want to be able to do the smaller grass fields. And I'm thinking that the Pronto 9 would be suitable for the smaller grass fields. And then our bigger fields at the moment, we go with the 18-metre one rather than the 25-metre one. And then later on, we can always switch over to that one. So the Terminator will be for the bigger fields. This Horsch here, that's going to be ideal for some of the smaller fields. Although we could even do it with the Amazon. I think we're big enough that we could use the Amazon in there. We go with that one because it's cheaper. I'm now actually looking at price. So I'll go with that one. Buy. Yes. Okay. And, of course, now I need somewhere where I can go and fill up. And I don't have anywhere that I can fill up at the moment. If I look in here and I go to the garage, like, I look through my stuff. I've got a grain silo. That's it. That's all I got. So I need to go to here, and we need to go to miscellaneous right here. And we need to get some filling stations. So we can either use the standard filling stations that we've used many times before, or we can use these workshop shed type situations. Now, I've used these previously, and I like them. I got just a plain seed bag one. We've got herbicide. We've got liquid fertilizer and ordinary fertilizer down there. These 4 I've not used in any series anywhere, so I'm quite liking the idea of using these. So we're back at the main yard. Where are we going to put these in our main yard? This is the next big question. Where would be the best place to plonk these? Now, that shed there, there's kind of a shed that you want to be able to drive right through. So we don't want to go interfering with that one. So what I'm thinking, I've got the Place Anywhere mod active on here, by the way. But what I'm thinking is I want to put these seed pallets and stuff down here. Thinking that would be a really good location. So I can put one there. Right there. So there's seed. That one goes there. And then... Ooh. I'll take some herbicide. And I'll put that one... I'm going to have to be careful because I am going to want to be able to drive around some of these as well. That's also going to be something that I'm going to need to sort of take into account. So we'll run them along this narrower point on this side, as long as they're all facing the right direction. That's my next big concern. Are they facing the right? I think they are. I think they're facing the right way. So then we want liquid fertilizer right there. Hang on. Oop. Go back to there. Right, the barrel is at the... Yes, the barrel's at the back. Right, that's good. So I'll put the liquid fertilizer... That's going to go along there, like that. And finally, we're going to have the regular fertilizer here. That one's going to go over on that side over there. So there's all of our stuff. I know that I don't have it in sheds, but I do think that that's going to work out quite nicely. And keep it all under cover... Keep it back where it's supposed to be, that sort of thing. I think that's going to be the right spot for all of it. I'm going to go here, Control S, and get rid of that. And then I go back into you and hook you up. Right, so the IMT doesn't have anything on the front. We've got no options for putting anything on the front there. I'm liking this tractor. Right, the tractor does look good. Let's go and take a look in the cab. Very, very plain in here. Very plain. How older vehicles do actually look. Right? All of the consoles and stuff you get in the new tractors and that. None of that is in there. We haven't got any of it. I got no beacons on this either. It's quite sensitive on the steering, this one is. Compared to the John Deere, this one seems to be a little bit more sensitive on the steering. It's got to be said. I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. I'll change over the seed a minute because this one's got to be planting grass. We'll start planting our wheat and barley and oats and other such stuff tomorrow. Actually, I think that'll be done tomorrow after the temperature has come up a little bit. So you come on in here. We had a much easier job getting in with this one. Much easier job getting in. With the really, really big stuff, I'm not sure we're even going to be able to fit it into the farm, which could prove to be interesting. Now, I'm going to go from the top side down. I'm going to drive this way round because of the direction that the little lid opens. So I'll bring you down there. And how big... Right, it doesn't auto-open. Oh. I thought it opened the other way. After all that. And... Right, that's not loading at all. It should be. These two are liquid. They're not going to do anything. So now I'll come over to this one over here. Is that one going to load? Ah, that one works. Right, well, I can load that one. How far away? Wow. Like... Okay, I'm backing straight... You've got to get really tight to those things to be able to load. I'm not sure I like that. I'm not sure I like that at all. Right, you've really got to hug in really tight to those to be able to load properly. I'm thinking we might get rid of them and we might do this a little bit differently. If you've got to get that close to be able to load them, it's going to be quite difficult, especially with the big machinery. And I'm also thinking that getting down through that narrow part there with bigger machinery is also going to be a little bit of a tricky move. Surprisingly, Skittles is still going over there. He's actually still running and still doing everything that he should be doing. I don't know how much of the field he's actually doing, but he's going through most of it. He's doing a reasonable job. So let's bring this one back over here. And I'm going to go... right in tight like that. There. Okay, that is a really, really... You know, I'm going to stop that. That is a really, really poor hitbox on that. Because it's so small, it's just going to make life too difficult for us whenever we come to load. So I've looked at it, I've tested it, I've tried it. I think I've given it a fair chance, but it's not suitable for what we want. So I'm going to sell you. And, oops. Liquid fertilizer, yeah, you can go. Herbicide, yeah, you can go. And seeds, yes, you can go as well. So we'll go back into here, and there is one that I'm using this one on the Black Mountain map, and I know this one works really well. I like this one. I've got orchards over here, by the way. I haven't tried those before. So there's another one that I'd like to look at. We've got workshop sheds over here. Several different workshop sheds. But no, it's these two right here. You've got the fertilizer hut and the seed hut. And apparently, they do... You get herbicide from there. There's herbicide and seed in that one. And in this one here, solid and liquid fertilizer from there. And this one's seeds. Oh, lime and herbicide. Oh, I didn't know you could get lime from that one. Anyone who's watching the Black Mountain series, the time-lapse series, you'll already know that I wasn't aware that you could get everything from the hut. Because I was... and somebody said in the comments about you being able to get it, but I didn't realise that it was quite like that. I'm thinking before I go and place that one down, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to start landscaping a minute. And what I'm going to do is there. I'm doing this because I'm removing those. Alright, I'm not removing anything else. I'm removing the grass and the bushes just off of that side. What I will also do is... Should we do that? I want to make sure that I'm getting the right. I want to lower, flatten. So keep that with the flatten tool. And I just want to flatten back into here. A little tiny bit. Like that. There. Perfect. That's all I want to do with the landscaping. And then I want to go to here. And we go back to that one. And we go to miscellaneous. And we will buy these two right here. These actually work quite nicely. These are a really good mod. I like these. Place them out. And I'm going to do them the other way around to what I've got on the Black Mountain one. The Black Mountain, I got the seed stuff over this side and fertilizer over that side. I'm going to do it this way around on this one. Go to you. Right, left control, Q and E. Right, height is not changing on there. So I will drop you down into there, like that. And then I'll go with the fertilizer hut over here. And move you round like that. I'm going to put a bit of a gap between them, actually. A little bit. Not very much, just a little bit. Drop that one down there. Okay, that's much better. I'm going to go to you. Now, we've got hired help stopped just for a second, so let's go and see Skittles and see how he's getting on. Yeah, that would stop him. Honestly, I don't think Skittles needs to do too much more. He's done a fairly good job. He's done a bang-up job up through here. Let's reverse him down. He's done plenty here. I think he's done a wonderful job. We'll go and park him up over... Actually, I don't need to go too far. I'm gonna move him over here. So then he'll be... We're not... No, it's not this bit next, is it? It's going to be up over here. This little bit here, this is going to be another grass patch. That big patch right there, that's not going to be a grass patch. So I'm going to back up there. Skittles can stop there for a second. And I go back to my IMT with our planter, and we'll pull this one on round up through here. And here now we've got these two. These are much better. Much, much better. I mean, yeah, we're still going to require a little bit of shunting to be able to access everything properly, but we ought to be able to do it there. See, I've got fertilizer. Well, that's because I can only put fertilizer in here, I'm guessing. But there's fertilizer, there's liquid fertilizer. Oh, it's the other one over there. That's what the lime, the seed, and the solid lime, seed, and herbicide. Herbicide is the other one it's got. Okay, close that lid back down. And then bring you in around like this. So we want to get this one out into the field, and we'll start this one planting. Get some grass seed being put down, and then we can go back to that John Deere and we can start doing a little bit more ploughing. It's only just to enlarge that field a little bit. We don't need to do a huge amount. It's not going to, like, change the world or anything. It's just going to enlarge that field a bit. And in field 3, that's going to be our arable one, or the first arable one that we do. That one's going to sort of loop round the farm. And then we've got another grass one to do over right next to where Skittles is at the moment. And once we've done all that, I'm not really sure. Because I won't be doing all of the land that we've got this year. Definitely not. We're not going to be going through and ploughing everything that we've got this year. Because, quite frankly, it's going to get a little bit dull. Having to go through and do everything, it's going to get a little bit dull. And I know that a lot of you are going to want me to kind of get through at least 1 year of seasons as reasonably quickly as I can, in part because I know that quite a lot of you are going to want to see what winter is like. And yeah, I can tell you with certainty that winter on this map looks pretty cool. And you get some pretty deep snow on here. That's been tested, and it does look very cool. I've seen some screenshots of it. I haven't actually seen it myself. I haven't tried it, not at all yet. So I'm quite looking forward myself to being able to see this and see how it progresses, see what the winter ends up being like for us in general. We'll have to wait for that. So I'm going to do... Well, we're doing once around here. I'm just thinking, if we do twice around, we'll manually do twice around the edge, and then we can leave the hired help to carry on with this one, and we can go back and get started on doing the rest of that ploughing. Just going to have a drink a minute. One thing with grass is that I always, like, when you're planting other crops, you sort of, it doesn't, you know, if you miss a tiny little bit here and there, it doesn't really matter all that much because it's only 1 year and then you're planting over again. But with grass, you plant a field with grass and you leave it as grass. It's generally what a lot of people do is, right, that field's going to be grass, we're going to leave it as grass. That's what it's going to be. So you're always a bit more conscious of the fact, like there, where I'm trying to get, you know what I'm trying to do there, don't you? Right? This is actually looking pretty good as we're coming up through here. So I'm sort of thinking, well, you know, I'll do that, and then I'll know where I can come in. I can get a screenshot of that, but the steering on this bad boy is quite sensitive. So as I'm sort of coming around, I'm overcorrecting a little bit, and then it's not looking quite so good. So I'll bring that to there. I'm thinking that could make a reasonable screenshot right there. So well, if I have done that as a screenshot, you'll already know. And then we can carry on again. So that's mainly the sensitivity of this eye. It's definitely more sensitive than usual. And yeah, the reason I'm thinking twice round is because of the trees and that. I want to make sure that we've got enough room to go right up to the edges so that we don't have to go back over and do any more. Although now I'm actually thinking if I just set the hired help going from this side, we may not need to worry about it at all. Right, if I bring that one up there and I set the hired help going over here, so I'm just going to lift that up and bring that back out kind of like that there. Oop. Okay, and around here. It's not an easy tractor to control, this one. I know I'm not the best one for judging with a articulated steer machine anyway. I don't have experience with well, not much experience. Certainly not tractors, anyway. I don't have much experience with driving an articulated machine anyway. I've got a little bit, you know, I've driven a few dumpers and, you know, articulated telehandler, that sort of thing. But I don't have that many hours on them, and handling those is altogether different to handling just a regular rigid body machine. They behave in completely different ways, and all the little sort of tips and tricks and techniques that you use when you're using a normal rigid body machine, they all go out the window when you start using one of these, and it does make life a little bit difficult. We'll just watch this one. I just want to see him turn round, go back the other way. One thing I have noticed, you look at this. It's not going out across the road. Right? It's not going across the road. Now, I've seen it, even in, like, the standard maps, they will go across the road. The tractors will go across the road. They go right out onto it to turn round, and they block the cars and everything. We don't have cars on this map, by the look of it. But it is still not driving on the road. And the only thing that I can think of that would actually make that work is... Oh, I see. Why are we going all the way up here? Quite sure what it's doing there. What are you doing? Alright. Get to there, and then he's going to turn now, is he? Yeah. Okay, I don't know what he's doing there, but he seems to know what he's doing. The only thing that I've seen it doing it with is railways. So I'm wondering if the roads on some of these maps where the tractors absolutely do not go onto the roads have got the same sort of mask over them as what the railway tracks do. Because if they do, that would explain why they don't go onto the roads, because they think that it's basically they're treating it like they do a railway track, and they don't go onto it at all. They go up towards it and then they stop and they don't turn on it. See? It's not turning on that one at all. He's backing up and he's avoiding it completely. Which is actually a pretty cool thing. I like that. That is, I don't know if it's actually supposed to be a thing or not, but it is pretty cool. Now, let's get you unfolded, and we've got a little bit of a field here that we want to make. We get that one unfolded first. I do like this John Deere setup that we've got right here. I know, John Deere is not to everybody's tastes, but you got to admit that does look pretty cool. Like, everything color matching for a start. Like, everything color matching is always good, as far as I'm concerned. It always does help. So I've just allowed create fields, and I'm going to lower that bad boy down there, like that. And then I'm going to start going around in a circle. Now, my biggest concern with this one is that I don't mess up and accidentally go over our farm track over there. That's the bit that I really don't want to do. Right? I'd rather have a smaller field boundary than accidentally go over that. So I'm going to sort of go round the field a couple times in order that we... Well, one, I can get my eye in a little bit better. And two, I don't accidentally take that one out. Now, that tree right there... Actually, because it's a grass field, I might leave it. I was thinking I would get rid of that tree and several other trees in this field, but I'm thinking as this is only a grass field, we'll leave that and we'll concentrate on, if we're going to remove trees, we'll do that in the arable fields rather than in the grass fields, because the grass fields, like, they're the small ones anyway. They're the ones where we're not going to be leaving the hired help just to carry on and do things all that much. I'll bring this out over here. And that farm track there, see, there. Get in a little bit tighter to it, like this. That works. And then drift away from it like that and bring it over here. That end of the field is already looking pretty good. I'll bring this one in again and just sort of drift in on that bit. And now I want to go up this way just a little bit more. I don't want to be doing too much up this side. I'm just going to slow down for this. Because I do want to sort of get rid of some of this bit up here. I know that I'm planting it back in again. But I'm kind of thinking like that. There. Just bring that in a little bit closer to that road. Make it look a little bit cleaner. That's better. That's better all around, I think. And then just pull that in off of there. Right, that field is done. Done. I've done the outside bit of the field. I now just need to do the inside bit of the field. I don't need to do very much to it. I'm probably not... well, actually, I'm not going to. I know that technically we should go through and cultivate, but I'm not actually going to bother with that. I'm going to leave the cultivating just as it is, and we'll let our chat with the IMT come through and deal with this field. He should have no trouble dealing with that. I don't need to do any more of this. Okay, let's lift that one up. I'll turn off the allow create field so I don't make any horrible mistakes as I cross over. And into the next bit. Well, that's about all we've got time for in today's episode. So we're going to go and take a little bit of a break. We need to chill out on the beach, relax, and build up some strength. So while we're doing that, If you've enjoyed the episode, then could you please head down below and give us a like? And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.